Hello, and welcome to Hope for Felons podcast, where we discuss felons and everything in between. Your host for this show is Douglas Van Vliet. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, folks. I wanted to come on and basically tell everything that we do here at Hope for Felons. I know that it can be confusing. I've been asked this in the last, especially in the last 2 weeks. Like, how can I help get my son, get my grandson, get my wife, or whatever the case may be, to get them help through Hope for Felons. Now, I did want to say first of all that not Hope for Felons is a nonprofit organization, which we do not do anything for money. Of course, if you want to donate, that's totally fine. And I will actually make sure that I put it in the link. But if you go to hopeforfelons.com, there's actually a donation tab there where you can donate whatever amount that you want to donate. And that'll go directly into the Hope for Felons banking account. I don't touch it. It goes right into the Hope for Felons banking account. So I wanted to come on and say that, like I was saying, people ask me, how do we go about getting help? Well, I have not placed it on the website yet, but if you call me, and I have the number on the screen to call, and there for a while, people was getting my cell phone number, but I have stopped that because there is a point in time where I don't like to do it, but I have to be able to have a little personal time. So what I do is from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursday, then you can call this number, and if you press 1, then it will transfer you directly to me. Now, if you are incarcerated, and I've got that number on the screen down by the logo, because if you're incarcerated, then you can call 336-517-7861, and you'll be able to reach me that way. That number there is, we have it fixed just so that if you need to contact us, that you'll be able to contact us if you're in prison, in prison, out of prison, whatever. But really, if you have family members, if you are out, of course, and you're a family member and you want to reach us, then if you call the 984-480-4673, if I see that your situation is dire, then there may be a possibility that I may call from my cell phone, but I try my best to keep it separate. But you can contact me directly, and then I can send you the application to fill out for Hope for Felons. And what we do, we don't sell your information. All your information is kept in an archive on our server. So this is something that we feel like we needed to do. It makes it easier this way. But now, you can also, if you want to go through your probation officer, we work with probation officers and case managers. Now, if they are incarcerated, then the first thing that you need to do is either call me, and I will reach out to the case manager, or you can have the case manager contact me directly, because if they're incarcerated, then we have to work with the prison to get all the information we need, which that is how we do it is after they fill out the application, then since they're incarcerated, then the case manager sends the application back to us, and then we approve it. We say, okay, this is where the offender's going to go. We put all that information in there, and then we also contact your PO and say, okay, they're good to go. This is where they're going. And then we try to arrange transportation. Now, you probably ask, well, how does a person get transported from the prison to one of your facilities? Okay. Number one, normally it depends on if it's in the same state. If they are in North Carolina, then it's not too bad. Usually I can just have the probation officer pick them up and take them to whatever place that they're going to go. Because you got to think that most of the time, and probation officers don't like this, but in a lot of cases, the probation officer has to go like 3 or 4 hours away from their precinct to actually pick up somebody from the prison, and then wherever they go from there, it's something. But normally what they do in a case where they don't have somewhere to go, I want to deliberate on this a little bit. If the person does not have a place to go, at least in North Carolina, then they set them out at the nearest hotel, motel available in their parking lot. If they have money, then they can go and get them a motel for the night. But if they don't have no money, because they don't give them any money, so if they're coming out with any money, then they just drop them off with nothing, which that's not the best way for success, and we understand that. And you probably say, well, how long does it take to usually to get approved? Well, right now I'm on probably a week behind, because I've just had so many probation officers and case managers reach out to me, and I've got I just had to say that we could not find a female that had a sex offender charge. We could not find her anywhere to go. I hate that, but the place that she could have went is full because of the weather we've been having, and so they just basically they could not take her. All the other facilities around are either too close to a school, or they can't stay there because they do have children. Because most females, you have to look at it, most females, when we place them, they do have children. Even coming out of prison, sometimes they do want the child to stay with them because they've been, disconnected for however long they was incarcerated. So what our goal is to try to get them, a place to go based on what the offender is wanting and what the child is wanting. But if I have a sex offender that don't have children, then of course in most cases they will not allow them to actually go to any place that has children. So we have to try to make other accommodations for those individuals. Now, I've seen a very high influx in the past 6 months of more sex offenders coming out. and they always put them with me because they know I understand their situation, and I don't care if you're in prison for murder, whatever the case may be. God loves you, and so do I, and I want to make sure that you get placed in a facility that can help you. So if you come, and a lot of times too, I look at it like this because I try to also have them send me like your medical history, the release medical history, because that helps me really when I'm trying to find you a place to go. Because usually in there would tell me, okay, and usually I'll know too when I do the interview. I'm actually getting a little ahead of myself. Because usually what we do is after they send the application back to me, your case manager, or their case manager, I should say, then what I do at that time is I set up an appointment to do a phone interview. That phone interview basically lets us get to know each other. So I would be able to find out, number one, if I feel like that you're serious. You say, well, why do you do that? I said, because I've had people call me that wasn't ready, that was not ready for treatment, and all they wanted was a place to stay. Now, if you know anything about how a lot of these facilities work, a lot of these facilities work really crazy. They have a tendency of, they do all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you, some of these facilities, if you don't have drug treatment charge, then you're pretty much, they don't want to help you because they don't get funding for that. So that's what our goal is this year, is we want to be able to have a place of our own, so that way we can better serve the community. Because who knows the way that, I was incarcerated for almost 20 years. So I know how it is in prison. So I am not going to put another offender in a situation that I wouldn't want to be in. So I hope that actually gives you a little bit of understanding that I will not, I started this, a little bit about me too. I should have said this at the first of the video. A little bit about me. I was raised Christian. I've been, went to church all my life, and I made some wrong choices, and I got out of God's will. Well, really, I tell you, because I was a minister, I was preacher, I sung in the church, and also played the guitar in the church band. So I was very active in the church. And basically, we end up getting in situations that we wish we wouldn't have got into. And but that's neither there. I've spent my time. Uh, God called me when I got out of the prison. One of the things that the Lord told me to do: go to school. Go to school and learn. So that's what I did. And I took criminal justice so I could learn. I done that to benefit out of the education, so that way I could learn. Okay, I knew how it was behind the fence, but I didn't know the laws and everything that come on the other side. And I needed to know that if I'm going to work with probation officers, then I have to know what I'm doing. So, make a long story short, Hope for Felons was started in 2018, not long after I was released. Uh, my probation officer, I talked to him about it. They approved me to do it, which is something that you don't hear about because normally you cannot be around, you cannot associate, you cannot be on the phone, nothing with anybody that is a convicted felon. But they allowed me to do it. So I knew right then that I was definitely in the center of God's will. So when we started, we was not a 501c3. We was not a 501c3. A 501c3 come a little later uh, when Dr. Linda McCrae, she asked if, she said, if you'll do it, I'll pay for it. Because she knew I don't have no money. You know, I'm coming out of prison broke and then wasn't able to work because of my physical issues. And so, needless to say, God was right there with me. I believe that if you are saved and you're one of His children, He's going to take care of you. Yeah, you're going to go through some and you're going to be chastised for what you do. And God may send you to prison. And then, but when you get out, that's when you have to decide, are you going to make a positive change and do the right thing? Now I can say, I do so much now, way more now than I did before going to prison. I stay so busy. I do. I stay so busy. They don't even have time to stop. A lot of times I'll be working in the middle of the night working. But that is just what you have to do in this situation when you're helping individuals. I love helping individuals. When it comes to sex offenders, they are harder to replace. But when you look at it, right now, everybody is hard to place because we're in the situation where we just come out of this horrible winter weather. And so now, it's like everybody is crammed in those halfway houses, those shelters, and all these programs. They are just full because the weather was so bad. People had to have a place to go. It was simple as that. So I would say probably around March, then a lot of that will start. It always does. It's always like this at this time of the year. Normally here in Mount Airy, North Carolina, we usually don't get that much bad weather. But this year we was hit hard. We was hit very hard. Several places was hit really bad. But, when you are looking for your loved one a place to go, like I said, I want to make sure that, number one, if you need treatment, whether it be substance abuse, sex offender treatment, whatever it is, that you get that treatment. Now, if you call me and you say, Doug, I just want a place to go. Okay, well, we got that too. But you have to be willing to go through their program, because the program that we use for a person that does not want treatment, which you're probably going to get it anyway, in so much sense, but you have to go through their faith-based program, which the guy is the Baptist pastor, only the King James Bible. That's all we believe here at Hope for Felons. So if this is not right for you, then, I understand. I don't understand, but, you know, it is what it is. But we will not compromise. We will not back down from what we believe. And, I'm a big fan of that on not changing, you know, why? Why change? God don't change, so why are we supposed to change? But we do want to help everybody. That's our goal, is to help everybody that comes around. And I've been asked a lot of questions, because we are, I guess you would call me, our organization is religious and faith-based. So one of our goals is we just had issues with our server, so we had an issue with our program. We was offering all the way up to a doctor's degree, but the teacher, the president of that company, decided he was no longer going to run it anymore. So we are in the midst of trying to do something different. So I would like everybody that goes through our program to take our class. Now you say, well, I can't use a computer. Well, we do have tablets where you can come here. You can do your job search. You can also do all your online stuff for the ministry. You can do it. And one nice thing that we have, and I'm glad that we can do this, we are able to use, like if you have, say for instance, you get in trouble and they give you community service. Well, you can do that community service right here. And we just communicate all that back to your district attorney and to the judge that sentenced you. And when your hours is completed, then we write on there complete and we sign it. So that is a good thing that we're able to do that. That way, all of the stuff that you need, that we can cover that. But we cover most of the stuff we cover in our phone interview. The phone interview is very important because that really allows us to know a little bit about you and you know a little bit about us. We physically do not have housing as of yet, but we are working on being able to have our own location for housing. That's what our long-term goal is. And but right now, what we do is when they call us or you call us and say, hey, I need help, then I start working on it and trying to find a location that is best for them. So, I have a lot of people that ask questions all the time, and, I know it's hard. It's hard just getting out of prison. And a lot of people end up going back to prison because they don't have support. They don't have that support team. And a lot of times we are the only support team that they have. Sometimes, like especially if their parents are dead and gone, then they're going to need a lot more help. So we do have the backpack program. The backpack program consists of if you need a cell phone, then if we have a cell phone that we can give you, then we give you 1 free month of service. That's what we give, 1 free month of service. And we offer Verizon and T-Mobile at this time. And whichever one that you go with, it's going to be $20 a month. We used to do 15 for T-Mobile and 20 for Verizon because that's what they charged us. But I have just decided that I made the administrative decision here that I was just going to charge 20 across the board. That way I don't have to worry that it's going to be the same amount regardless. That's still a lot cheaper than what you would pay if you had to go to T-Mobile yourself. You're going to really pay. And you probably say, okay, now what happens after that one free month? What happens after that? Well, you have two choices. You can either stay with us and keep paying the money, or you can port out your number and go with whatever carrier that you want on your own plan. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. Like recently, I just had a lady that her husband is incarcerated, and he had a cell phone, but she kept it going this whole time. So I told her, I said, well, let's do it this way. I said, go ahead and keep the payment up, and I'm going to switch him over to this other service, and, we'll fix it to where it'll automatically come out of his checking account. Because when you get out, and especially if you're older, the last thing you're going to want to do is try to learn how to, take care of your checking account online. And a lot of people don't like to do online checking, but I've been doing it for so long that it don't bother me. I look at it this way. They can steal your data if you're not online, and they can steal your data if you are online. So I've learned that, it really don't matter. It really don't matter. But make a long story short, that we try to make sure that like a day before they get out, then if they're local to me, then I will go ahead and I will cut their service on a day before, and that way they will be serviced there when they are released. Not all people, depending on their charges, if they're able to have a smartphone. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have one flip phone. It's brand new. It's out there. It was donated to Hope for Felons a few months ago. So if you do have your people are a sex offender, don't worry about it, because we got you covered. I'll do everything I possibly can for them. And like I said, we have a doctor. Her name is Dr. Linda McRae. She's out of Hope Counseling and Consultant. And she is a counselor for sex offenders. She has basically an organization that helps with the mental health of sex offenders. And if you do go through a program, then in North Carolina, if you stay on the registry for 10 years, then you're able to get off of the registry in 10 years with her help. So that is a big plus. I got to get me something to drink here. But if anybody has any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to give me a call at 984 480-4673. That's our main line. So you can reach us from 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, and then we're open till noon on Friday, and then we're closed Saturday and Sunday. But if you do have an emergency, and you can always leave me a voicemail, and I will do what I can. If I feel like it's a dire emergency, then I will definitely give you a call back. But normally I'll just call you back anyway. That's just the way I am. But we try to set those boundaries so people understand and know where we are coming from. Because if you don't, some people will really take advantage of you. So we have to do what we have to do. But like I said, it don't matter your crime. If you are coming out and you need substance abuse treatment, then we want to make sure that we get you in a facility that does have drug treatment, because we want to make sure that you come out for success. That is our main goal. We do not want to see anyone get in the position to where they don't have a place to go, or if they have a place to go, they don't like it. And if they're a federal inmate, then it makes it easier on me, because all I have to do is call up the probation officer. He will come down and pay the rent for your motel for however long that they think that you need it for. But with state, we don't have that. State does not have any programs that where we can actually do that. That is one of our big issues that we've had, is funding. Funding is a big thing, because I would really, me personally, and I've stressed this even to all of our board members, that the biggest thing that I really want to achieve is to have our own facility, to where I don't have to wonder if there's a place that I can put them. I can put them in our facility. And I don't think it's, that's really the best route to go, because nobody's going to run your facility like you do. And I think that that's where a lot of facilities, I get mad. You can ask a lot of my board members. I get upset, very upset, because of the fact that these men are coming out, and half the time when you call some of these organizations, they won't even pick up. So, but we make sure that we try to get somebody on the other line and have you a place to go, or your family member a place to go, before they get out. Like right now, I have a guy, today's the deadline, so he has to be placed today. And but I'm still waiting on the case manager to schedule the interview. Really, they're so bad to drop the ball, but there's certain things that I cannot do until all their paperwork is finished, which I got all the paperwork, but I just have to have that interview, because that's our policy. You have to have a policy. If you don't have a policy, then, it will fail. It will definitely fail. And this video here, I'm planning on putting this on Facebook and on my on the website of Hope for Felons. So, like I said, if you have any suggestions or anything, feel free to call me. I know that we use a program called OBS, and I don't have a way to look at the chat, so I can't see if anyone's saying anything. But I do want to say that, um, give us a chance, and we will definitely try to help you. We are pretty much right now, like I said, we are full because a lot of the places are still packed because of the weather. Uh, but that will be changing soon because I think yesterday it was 60 something, and I think it's supposed to now, the weather's finally, I think, taking a turn for the better. So I just wanted to say that there is hope for a felon, and don't never think that you don't have a place to go or you don't get that help, because we will definitely help you. And I think I got distracted a little bit ago. I got off on the cell phone and forgot to tell everything that was uh, in the backpack. I apologize. The stuff that's in the backpack is, of course, a cell phone if we have one, and then you get your hygiene items, and you do get a King James Bible. That's very important, and it's very important that they read that Bible. And I hope that we see sinners saved. That's our main goal here at Hope for Felons, is we want to make sure that at least that they know they cannot go out of Hope for Felons and say, I do not know anything about the Lord Jesus Christ. And that's not going to happen under my watch. So I want to say, pray for us as we do the work of God, because that's what this is. This is a ministry, and we thank God for allowing us to do it. And we do have on our board, we have a chaplain, and his name is Brother Sonny Talbert, which you might have heard him a lot on the Old Black Book Revival Hour and the Back Home broadcast, because he's a little bit of everywhere. And also Brother Martin Pitcher, he's over, he's the director of biblical studies. So if you take our program, our Bible study, then you will get to meet him, and he's very good. He's very, very good. I really enjoy listening to him. I could listen to him all day, and I'd probably end up falling asleep. I'd probably get so tired I'd just fall out. But he really knows what he's talking about and does a lot of studying, where a lot of these people do not. They do not do no studying. And I just think that I thank God for sending me these people, because I think in my mind I have the best board members than I could possibly have. I know it's hard because everybody is working and trying to do the ministry. I get that. It's hard. But one thing about it is we will do our best to make sure that your family member or friend is taken care of when they get out of prison. And always remember, there is hope for a felon. God bless.